good morning. Wow, what a morning it has been already. Oh my gosh. So exciting. Disappointment. It hits us all. But that's what we're going to be talking about today is disappointment, how we handle it really. It makes all the difference. Join us today as we talk about some sneaky shortcuts we take when coping goes wrong. And let's discover some refreshing alternatives that lead to lasting resilience. Welcome to Saturday Morning Ritual. I am Deanna and I am your host for this lovely day. How are you? Welcome. Please just let us know that you're here and that you're watching and where you're from and all the good things. Just because, it's the Saturday Morning Ritual. So let's go ahead and get started with the sad. Oh, guess what? So the Saturday morning ritual, whenever I was a kid, Saturday mornings used to be like watching Saturday morning cartoons and, just, thrilling the day away. And today as adulthood set in, it was more like doing adulting type things. And it has further evolved into every single week. I like to do what I call like a self assessment, kind of like a review of the previous week. And so that's what I like to do, is do a weekly review every single week. So I kind of think about what were my victories, what were my setbacks, what were my just challenges that I faced, and what can I do differently in the coming weeks in order to do better at that. So that is what the Saturday morning ritual is all about. And I am glad that you have joined me today.
And we can be so much more than who we are, so much more than who we are. We can, and knee deep in while the world just falls apart, and the rise above it all. We can.
Boom, boom, yay! So the Saturday morning ritual is a place of, it's a place to celebrate your successes, grow from challenges, keep you accountable and committed towards your goals. All the fun things that are just exciting. And one important part of the Saturday morning ritual, Cheryl, I'm so glad you're here, is the brain-body connection, of course. Movement is considered the human being's first language. Movement strengthens the neural pathways between the brain and the body. It helps with learning and thought and creativity. All of these things, they're just not just in the brain alone. It's all throughout the whole body. It all works together. So many things just really work together. So I like to do just a little movement exercise first thing, just to get us going every day, just to get us going. So to join me today, and I'm having all the problems with my stuff today, join me as we do a little exercise. So this one is a good full body, kind of like wake me up. And you can do this however you want. You can do this with weights or you can do it without weights, but I'm going to do it with weights this morning. Do what is right for your body. Don't push yourself if you can't do it, but do what you can. And you can just follow along. I'm just going to repeat the same exact thing. I like to do this. It's like a full body thing that kind of wakes up the whole entire body. So I'm going to press the go button and we will go. As soon as I figure out where the go button is, of course, because this is Loki's here to have a good time. Here we go. Loki, stop. There we go.
Come on, let yourself be free. Be the best that you can be. Come on, your body. Only settle for the best. Live your life with no regrets. Come on, your body. There's no fire without smoke. I ain't letting you go. I can see you buzzing like you can't say no. There's no fire without smoke. I ain't letting you go. Come on, let yourself be free. Be the best that you can be. Come on, your body. Only settle for the the best. Live your life with no regrets. Come move your body. Come move your body. Come on, let yourself be free. Be the best that you can be. Come move your body. Come move your body. Only settle for the best. Live your life with no regrets. Come move your body. Come move your body.
Yay! Good time fun. Okay, so now you're gonna have to take just bear with me for a brief second because I gotta close these windows because Loki has not been allowed upstairs since a while, and he needs to be hypervigilant apparently today about all the things that are going on. So let me close these curtains real quick. Okay. Yeah, you lay up there. All right. So, sorry about that, but dogs, what are you going to do? Focus on me. Focus on me. You're not going to focus on me? There we go. I think you're focused on me. All right. Hey, Misty, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, Misty. Welcome, Mary. Oh, my God. I'm so glad that you are here today. So excited. So excited. That'll get your body moving, won't it? It just like really wakes up the whole entire body. Those little like simple movements, but they can be so awakening. The importance of community. Oh my God, I cannot tell you the importance of community to help you feel safe, connected, like you belong. The influence that they have on you in order to motivate you to, grow yourself, to challenge yourself. Community is so important. Sharing their struggles and their awesomenesses, all the things. That's why we're here. That's Saturday morning ritual. We gather together as a community to do these things. And I'm really thankful that you're here today. First up, or next up, I guess. I don't know why I say first up because it's next because we've already done so many things. But we got to talk about our successes. What successes did you have this past week that you would like to share with us? What successes did you have this past week that you would like to share with us? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments below. I got to know, what successes did you have? They don't have to be necessarily scale related. They're all kinds of non-scale. They don't even have to be weight loss related successes. They can be any success that you would, because I think that success, it's all connected. Like I say this all the time, and it's never going to get old, but it's all connected. When we have successes in our professional life, when we have successes in our relationships, they all filter down into our weight maintenance, our weight loss. They're all connected. It influences one another. None of these things in our lives exist independently of each other. They're all connected. So share your successes with us. My success this week was making a very hard decision. I had this big trip planned, and I was supposed to go see my friends. We're going to go see the solar eclipse. We're, just hang out. I was going to meet some people in real life for the first time, and it was going to be awesome and amazing. And I had to make a hard decision to not go. And it was hard. And I could still go. Like, I could shut this computer down and get in my car, and I could go. And I'm not going to miss out on much of the fun at all. I could do that. But I had to do the right thing. I had Loki with his whole knee situation. He tore his CCL. It's official that he tore it, and he's going to be on the mend for months, but he requires, they want him to get surgery. That's suggested. The other thing is that he can get a custom brace for his knee, which is a lot of money. So that whole thing. And then I have my cat, Chance. He got sick. So he had to take him to the vet because he was just having diarrhea and yuck. And he had a parasite. So, my pets are on the mend. And all these things. And then I got this whole car situation going on. Like, anyway, this isn't about my life sucks, but it's about how I had to make a hard decision not to go. And I made that hard decision. That's my success of the week. So I am proud of myself for making that decision, because when you're faced with, all of these disappointing things in life, it's easy to just want to run away and escape and just pretend like they don't exist. But I did the right thing, and I'm staying right here. So there we go. Any other successes that anybody wants to celebrate? Because that was a huge success on my part, by the way. Huge, huge success. Today, I'm going to be filming my quarterly review. So I want you guys to stay tuned for that, because that's going to be an exciting update. Just also to further along on the whole successes and pitfalls thought process, and just to get more personal, because this is about us as a community, and I don't want to get too involved with me on the show on here. So if nobody has any successes, I want to celebrate you for being here today. I want to celebrate you for clicking on this video and taking a moment to reflect on your week, to reflect on your successes, to reflect on your setbacks, to be present with you and who you are. That is a great achievement. So many times we don't take the time for ourselves. If you took a minute this week for you, to do what's good for you, that's a success, because so many times we take care of everyone else and we put ourselves on the back burner. So if you took a moment for you, that's a success. So next up is setbacks. Setbacks, sidesteps, pitfalls, failures, whatever you want to call them, however you want to label them. Things that you're not so proud of, Are there any of those things that you kind of want to just get off your chest? I find that when I get them off of my chest, it just releases it, and it makes it, like a way that I can kind of move forward. I have been sharing my weight loss journey on YouTube for, I think, like 4 years now. And there were many weeks where I would have a not so favorable weigh-in on the scale. And I was disappointed. I was hurt. I was sad. I was judgmental. I was all of the things. And I didn't want to record my weekly weigh-in video because of those feelings, because I didn't want to, number one, fess up. Number two, be, just completely, whenever you say it, it makes it so much more real and whatever. So it was hard. But I found that once I was able to share that, once I was able to get it off my chest, once I was able to put it into words, like really, formulate thoughts around it, then I could address it. I could forgive myself. I could be self-compassionate. I could, all of the things, and I could move forward. But I wasn't able to move forward until that moment. So it does a lot. And you might be able to do that in your journal. If you're a journaler, you might be able to do that with a friend. If you have a weight loss buddy, if you have a goal buddy, if you just call them up and you share with them what's going on with you, that might help you to move forward. So however you want. So if we share our setbacks. So Cheryl, thank you for sharing. I appreciate you sharing your setback this week. And that's okay. It's okay. You had gone so long without a setback. So I appreciate you for sharing. I want you to know that it's okay. And I want you to know that you're getting better and better every day. And you're so strong. You're so amazing. And it's just not the end of the world. Everything will get better. It's got to get better every single day. So we're going to take a moment, and I want you to think about, while I play this song, I want you to think about either your success or your setback. And I want to think about What were your thoughts about it? How did it make you feel? What feelings came up for you? And when you feel that way, what actions does it want to make you take? So if your thought, if you were having a setback, is I'll never be able to figure this out. And, that just makes you feel, just lost. Your next step is probably, you're going to feel like you can't do anything. You're going to feel like, why does it even matter anyway? So if you see yourself writing down something negative, that's going to move you into a place where you're not doing the next best thing for you. Let's try and turn it around and think of a way that we can make it something more positive. And we're going to get more into that in a second. So you're going to have an opportunity to rewrite that in a minute. But whatever it was, write down if you had a success or a setback, whichever one you want to write about. What did you think about it? How did it make you feel? And what do you think your next action steps are going to be? Let's take a minute and write about that. All right. So we'll be back in just a second. I'm going to skip this part today. Sorry.
And we can be so much more than who we are, so much more than who we are. We can. See it in your mind, trust that. Have what it takes inside, 'cause you can make it too. If not says who, you can make it too. If not says who, you can make it. You had great patience, but something knocked you out. You felt your limitations and filled your mind with doubt. You wanna stay chill right now and don't let your eyes off the prize. I know you want it to be easy, so let your guard down. And I said, see it in your mind, trust that. Have what it takes inside, 'cause you can make it too. If not says who, yeah, you can make it too. If not says who, you can make it.
Yay, 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 yay. So, awesome. I just feel like sometimes you don't have a friend that you can talk to about stuff. Sometimes you don't, have that support system that you need. And a lot of times journaling can help. It can really help you to uncover what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and action steps to move forward. So today we are talking about disappointment, because I know that disappointment has come up for me a lot in my weight loss journey. Oh, wait, I think I gotta fix something. Hold on 1 second. Blah, 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 blah. All right, there we go. That's better. I know that disappointment has come up a lot for me. So I wanted to talk about disappointment because a lot of times, you know, with disappointment is that, there, well, first of all, there's all kinds of disappointment. There's disappointment in our professional lives. There's disappointment in our relationships. There's disappointments with our weight loss. There's all kinds of different disappointments just in, our day-to-day expectations of what we can get done or whatever. And a lot of times, if we can just kind of label them, they can kind of maybe help us. Have you had any disappointments lately? Have you had any disappointments in your relationship, in your work, in your day-to-day life? Have you had any disappointments? I know that I had a few disappointments myself, but but that is life, because life is not just all awesomeness. There's going to be disappointments. And we cope with those disappointments in different ways. So let's talk about different ways that we cope with our disappointments. Different ways that we cope with our, and I have been guilty. I have been guilty of every single one of these that we are going to talk about today. I have been guilty of them. So that's just excitement, isn't it? So the first one is avoidance. Avoidance. Have you ever dealt with something by just not dealing with it at all? We distract ourselves with work, hobbies, trips, entertainment, hoping that the disappointment is going to fade away on its own. However, avoiding these emotions can really just exacerbate, is that the word? Exacerbate? Make the stress worse. More unresolved issues, just, yeah, go crazy. There's avoidance. And I think avoidance is kind of like denial. Denial involves refusing to acknowledge the reality of the disappointment. People that are in denial, they might downplay the significance of their setbacks or convince themselves that everything is fine when it's not. And it can prevent you from taking action to take the necessary steps to address the underlying issues. Anybody ever been in denial? Oh my God. I've been in denial so many times, and I couldn't even tell that I was in denial. That's like, couldn't even tell I was in self-denial. Bad. Anyway, self-blame is another coping mechanism that we can use. It's really easy to blame ourselves when things don't go as planned. We believe that we're not good enough. We caused the disappointment through our actions or our decisions. And what this can do is it can erode our self-esteem and hinder our personal growth. I also want to say that there's a fine line here on this self-blame thing, because there's one thing taking responsibility, because we were just talking about denial, right? We don't want to deny it, but we also don't want to go to that other extreme of self-blame where it's eroding our self-esteem and hurting ourselves. We want to go, somewhere in the middle where we're taking responsibility, but not completely to the edge of you suck. Do you feel it? Do you understand what I'm saying there? Does that make sense to you? I know that self-blame, whenever we start to do that, it can really keep us from healing, taking action, moving forward, getting the things that we want to do. Another way that some people cope is through substance abuse, turning to drugs and alcohol, other substances, scrolling, social media, shopping, all kinds of things. Those aren't substances, but I just kind of wanted to throw them in there because it's another thing. Also, emotional eating. Food can be a source of comfort for many people during times of stress. Emotional eating, consuming foods in response to negative emotions such as disappointment, sadness, stress. But that's not necessarily great for us either. Okay, shout out, give me some claps or something. Have you ever isolated yourself because of disappointment, isolation? When faced with disappointment, some people like to withdraw from social interactions, isolate themselves from other people. They feel embarrassed or ashamed, and they just prefer to deal with those things alone. Is that you? Have you ever felt like that, and you wanted to just isolate yourself from other people and not go out? And the thing with isolation is that once you're isolating yourself, it's not always a healing thing, and that can lead into like the self blame thing. So we want to be careful with isolation. Escapism. Escapism involves seeking refuge in fantasy worlds, such as through excessive gaming, binge watching TV, daydreaming. While temporarily distracting, escapism does not address the underlying issues causing the disappointment and can lead to neglect of responsibilities. I did this yesterday. I did this yesterday. I was disappointed that I couldn't go on this trip that I was supposed to be leaving for today. And I went into escapism. That is one of my I used to be an emotional eater. I used to run to food to solve all of my issues. But in doing so, I learned a lot of other coping. I leaned on a lot of other coping mechanisms. So escapism was one of them. Yesterday, I was daydreaming about a kitchen makeover. So maybe that's coming in the future because now that I was daydreaming about it, I'm sure I'm going to have to do it. But instead of doing my responsibilities, which was my journaling sheet for today's episode, I didn't do that because I was busy escaping, thinking about my kitchen, because I didn't want to think about the fact that I wasn't packing to go on this awesome trip. So escapism. Rumination. Oh, God. Rumination. The killer. Oh, the killer. This one is so. Rumination occurs when individuals repeatedly dwell on their feelings of disappointment, replaying the event in their minds and fixating on what went wrong. This constant rumination can fuel negative thoughts and emotions and making it difficult to move forward. Have you ever had a week where you like stepped on the scale and it didn't go your way and you just couldn't get it out of your head and you kept just thinking about it? And like this happens a lot whenever you think you're doing so darn good and I'm following the program, I'm doing everything right, I did all my exercise, I drank my water, I was watching what I was doing, whatever your particular diet plan is, and you're just fixated on it and you can't stop thinking about it. And meanwhile, all of these past habits that you had, emotional eating, binge eating, not exercising, not going to bed on time, not drinking water, all of these things start flowing back in because you're so busy, fixated on that 1 second of the day where you stepped on the scale and it gave you a number that you didn't necessarily like and that you thought should have been different. All this stuff floods in because you're not paying attention, because you're too busy wrapped up in what happened and you're not moving on. Rumination. Oh my gosh. Boy, has that happened to me. Seeking validation. So some people seek validation and approval from others as a way to cope with disappointment. They're going to just, excessively, they're going to need to be reassured. They're going to need praise to boost their self-esteem. And they're just going to mask their feelings of inadequacy. Just like, please, lift my spirits, lift my spirits, lift my spirits. But that going to outside sources to boost your self-esteem, that's not helping your self-acceptance. That's not helping your self-love. That's still going on in the background. So we need to be careful of if that's something that we're doing. Aggression or acting out. Who's been guilty of that one? Claps, claps, claps in the comments. Let me know. Tell me a story. Let it all out. I'm here to listen to everything. I want to know all the juicy details. Aggression or acting out. So some people like to express their feelings of disappointment through aggressive or destructive behaviors. This can include lashing out at others, engaging in risky activities, or breaking things as a way to release a pent up frustration. But these things can harm relationships and exacerbate the original disappointment. Oh my God, I was so bad. I hate to admit this. I hate to admit this on the internet. To tell everybody that, yep, that's me. I was disappointed earlier in the week, not related to the trip, about something else. And boy, did I lash out at somebody who did not deserve it. Oh, and then because I lashed out at someone who didn't deserve it, I'm seriously making the situation worse, because now I'm disappointed in myself for the way that I acted. I have to apologize. I have to, backtrack. I have to do all these things, aggression or acting out. It's like not a healthy coping mechanism. So we all might have 1, 2, 3, 9 of these things, all of these different unhealthy coping mechanisms. And the thing here isn't just tell you that we're bad people, to say that we're flawed, to say that we're, miserable or anything. It's just to identify that this could be going on. And if you're an emotional eater, what do you think is going to happen if you have this unhealthy coping mechanism? It might lead to, now I've got to cope with that unhealthy coping method with another unhealthy coping method, and it flows. You see what I'm saying? So we just want to be aware of them and say, oh, wow, look at, I did that. Okay, what can I do differently? Just like if we ate foods that we don't want to particularly eat on our diet. Oh, why did I do that? Okay, let's see what I can do differently next time. And then try to put some plans in place in order to do that. So that's pretty much it. So just being aware of them, but we can replace them. There are also healthy ways that we can cope with disappointment. So all kinds of things, mindfulness techniques, just deep breathing, taking slow, deep breaths, focusing your attention on the sensations that you're having in your body. It can help just bring you back to the present. So I told you guys about that I was using on my phone, that the tapping solution app, and they have a tapping session on dealing with disappointment. So you could do that, and I did it. I've done it a couple times this week, to tell you the truth. But what it does is it kind of like guides you through what you're feeling, how you're feeling in your body. You do the deep, slow breaths, all of that stuff. And then it just guides you through, and then it helps you to kind of reframe it in your mind and feel better about the whole entire situation. Awesome. Would 100% words are hard sometimes. Recommend. That's the word I was looking for. Recommend. I would recommend Tapping Solution app. I think it's very helpful. I don't get paid for that. I'm not sponsored, not affiliated, not nothing. So anyway, that's one way. Check out your body is another mechanism, just to see how you're feeling. Maybe do some mindful observation is another way that we can deal with some things that are going on. whenever we just observe our surroundings without any judgment, notice the colors, the shapes, the textures, the sounds, it can just help you shift your focus away from the negative thoughts that you might be having so we don't get stuck in that rumination. Also, grounding techniques to anchor yourself in the present moment, to just, feel your feet on the ground, feel the air, feel your hands resting on your lap. Again, just can help get you out of those negative thoughts. Movement. Oh my God, movement. Movement in nature. Also, very, very helpful is to do some kind of movement. And gratitude. Gratitude can be so helpful. I'm disappointed, that I can't go on this trip, but how awesome is it? I am so grateful to have friends that would like to meet me in real life. I'm so grateful to have been invited. I'm so grateful that I get the opportunity to be disappointed that I didn't get to go. Because on the other hand, nobody could want to hang out with me. Nobody could want to be my friend. And I could just be lonely and sad. But no, that's not the case. So gratitude. What can I be grateful? What is awesome? What opportunities might come out of this disappointment? Have you thought about that? Like, something great might be coming my way. That's possible. Something great might be coming my way because of this little disappointment. I believe in the yin and the yang of the universe, and it's what's good is what's bad. What's bad, what's good. There's always going to be ups and downs, ebbs and flows, ebbs and flows. So being grateful for the things that I do have instead of disappointed for the things that I don't. Self-compassion. Oh, this is the biggest thing we talk about all the time. It is one of the skills that we really need to, foster and increase and work on and just be awesome at it. Give yourself kindness, understanding. Use loving kindness and self-compassion to help you through. Just be warm and accepting to yourself. You're okay. You're enough. You're awesome. You're amazing. You're growing. You're learning every single day. Hello, person. Hello. So labeling our thoughts is another healthy coping mechanism. Whenever we have negative thoughts or emotion, we can just label them without getting caught up in what their content is. So we can just say, well, that's an unhelpful thought, and kind of move on. Or be curious. That's an unhelpful thought. Why do I think I thought that? And it just creates some distance between that thought versus getting us sucked down the rabbit hole of ruminating on it and just letting it guide our bodies and our thoughts and all the things. That's an interesting thought. That's an interesting negative thought. Why do I feel that way? And move on. And finally, another one is acceptance. If we just acknowledge the disappointment and acknowledge that that's natural part of life, and just say, yeah, you're allowed to be disappointed about that. That's disappointing. It's okay. But don't resist the feeling. If we resist the feeling by trying to avoid it, by being in denial about it, by escaping it, that's not going to be really great for us. So we just want to accept it, know that it's natural, and that it's okay. Feel the feeling. Heck, yeah, I'm disappointed. Shoot. But I'm not going to let that ruin my entire weekend. I'm not going to let that change what I want for me. I'm going to still go after those things that I want. Even though I didn't get what I wanted right now, it's okay. And oh my God. disappointment with food. Oh. So if you're a calorie counter, it makes a lot of sense for calorie counters. So you're counting your calories and, you know, you're out of calories for the day, but then somebody presents you with dessert and you really want that dessert. But you make the decision to not have the dessert because your goals, your priorities are to stay within your calorie range. Yeah, you're disappointed that you didn't get to have that dessert. You really wanted it. I really wanted that. I'm disappointed I couldn't have it. Yeah, that's okay. But I'm really glad I made the decision not to have it because that's going to move me towards my goals. But I'm really glad that I was committed to myself. There's all kinds of great positive ways that we can look at it. Yeah, it's okay. And it brings us to the next one, building our resilience to disappointment. It's so important to build our resilience to this because disappointment is just part of life. There's always going to be something to be disappointed about. Unfortunately, everything doesn't always go our way. We have to build our resilience. But if we are never dealing with our disappointment by avoiding, by escaping, by being in denial, or any of those other things, we're not building our resilience and we're not dealing with the situation. So we're not feeling the feelings. So build our resilience to it. And one of the ways that is really easy to help build our resilience is to find a silver lining. What's a way that you are able to turn this into an opportunity for growth, for success? So look for the silver lining. Earlier, we did a little journaling exercise on, if we had a setback, what were our thoughts and what were our feelings about it? And what do we think our next action would be? So if we thought we were disappointed about the number on the scale and that made us feel worthless, our next action would probably be to ruminate in that, maybe to cope in some different ways. But if we think about it and we try and look at the silver lining, what could the silver lining be? And that's going to have to be something that comes from your brain. What's the silver lining for you? What opportunity for growth, what opportunity for success does this bring to you? Well, I can learn that I shouldn't let myself get overly hungry. I can learn from this that when XYZ happens, I know that I need to reach out to my friends sooner for help. I learned that whenever this happens, I should not isolate myself. What can we learn from it? How can we move forward from it? Another thing that is important is to have realistic expectations. So sometimes we're disappointed because what we expected was not anywhere close to what reality is. We just created this grandiose picture of something that's like so awesome and so amazing, whatever. It was never going to happen anyway. And then we get disappointed because we don't live in the grand castle. We're not a beautiful princess. You understand what I'm saying? So we got to set the realistic expectations. And maybe it's a learning point. Maybe the silver lining is that we're learning that, oh, wow, we set expectations that are just way too grandiose, way too big. And we need to start setting lesser expectations. So we need to really, think about what our coping mechanisms are. We need to think about ways that we can deal with them, with our disappointments a little bit better. So moving forward, if you experience a disappointment, we just want to kind of like notice In what ways am I dealing with my disappointment? Is this a great way for me to be dealing with my disappointment? And if not, what is a better way that I could deal with this disappointment? Keep that kind of in our mind as we go through, this wonderful thing called life. Wonderful thing called life. I think that we all at times have experienced whenever we didn't deal with our disappointment in the best way possible. And we can grow and we can learn and we can do better than we did yesterday. Always, always possible. So it's just something to be kind of aware. I'm really proud of actually the way that I am dealing with this disappointment of not being able to go on the trip. I'm not letting it hold me back. I'm not letting it create a place of isolation or sadness and depression where I've got to just put my whole entire life on hold because I didn't get to go. No, I've got fun things planned. I decided that life moves on and I'm going to have to move on with it. Maybe I can't go 6 hours away and enjoy great times with my friends. That doesn't mean I can't enjoy my life. That doesn't mean I have to be sad. That doesn't mean that I can't move forward with my goals. No, I'm going to do fun things that are going to allow me to move forward with my goals and to be proud of myself versus being sad and miserable for 3 days because I'm missing out. I'm not missing out. They're just having a different fun time than what I'm having. That's all it is. That's all it is. That's my silver lining. They're just having a different fun time than what I'm having. And I'm so happy that they get to do that and they get to enjoy that. So, next up, thank y'all. Thank you. We're not failing. We're just making a plan for the future. So let's think about what's the plan for the week? What are our expectations for the week? What do we expect? Do we need to work on setting realistic expectations? Do we feel like we might find ourselves disappointed when something doesn't go our way this week? Maybe that's something that we can focus on and think about this week. Make a plan for the week. I think making a plan is so important. Not only just our food plan is important, our activity plan is an important part of our plan, how we're going to get our water and our sleep and all of those healthy habits that we concentrate on. But what's the plan for dealing with disappointment? Have we ever thought about including that in our plan? So let's take a moment really quick. I want you to think about that. Let's make a plan for the week. Let's just jot it down. What do you think you're going to eat this week? Monday through, all the days. What do you think you're going to eat? Let's plan on when are you going to do your exercise? When, where, what time? When are you going to do your exercise? What kind of exercise are you going to do? When are you going to get your sleep? How much sleep are you going to get? How are you going to get your water in? So in 3 minutes, I want you to write down all these things that I think you can do in 3 minutes because I know that I can write it down in 3 minutes. So get to writing because you got a lot to do.
Took some time, but we pointed out that tomorrow isn't here and now, baby. An absent mind came to roam around. Captured you in a foggy cloud, baby. Standing on my toes on the edge, I'm ready to go. See it clear when the shadows are lit, I'm ready to go. I'm taking matters into my own hands now. Let's face it, we only got this life to live out. So follow me, I'm ready to go. I'll take the lead, I'm ready to go. Bumps in the road, many obstacles. When we fall, we get up and go, baby. way they think is paradoxical. Captured you in a foggy cloud, baby. Standing on my toes on the edge, I'm ready to go. See it clear when the shadows are lit, I'm ready to go. I'm taking matters into my own hands now. Let's face it, we only got this life to live out. So follow me, I'm ready to go. I'll take the lead, I'm ready to go. Ready to go. Ready to go.
Oh my gosh, I just only got one life to live now. Yeah, so don't let disappointment stop you from living it. Oh my gosh. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. Even though I'm disappointed, it's not gonna put me in a place to where I'm not living my best life, where I'm not doing what's good for me, what's right for me, what's gonna help me to learn, to grow, to succeed, to be the best me possible. And I hope that you do the same. I hope that you do the same. Don't let disappointment fuel bad actions or inaction or whatever it might be. There's always a silver lining. There's always a silver lining. There's always something right around the corner to look forward to. There's always something right around the corner that you're going to succeed at, that you're going to be awesome at, amazing. So let's just go do that. Let's just go do that. Anyway, thank you for not disappointing me and for being here for the Saturday morning ritual. I so truly, truly, truly appreciate you. Thank you so much. And that is it for the Saturday morning ritual. I'll see you guys in the next one. As always, it's going to be an adventure. Bye.